How would you assess the quarterback situation right now? We've seen Burrell start twice, and this last one, 5-3 announced to start the game. So a lot of people would love to see Brandon Connect get that shot.
Well, I think Brian didn't play well the first quarter when he was in, but it wasn't all on him. We didn't block very well up front. We dropped some passes. You look at what he did at the end of the game. He came back and led our team very, very effectively. So we're not down on Brian, but clearly he's got to play better and lead our offense better. We've got to start the game better than what we did last 2 weeks. Frankly, Brandon came in and did some really good things. I thought he's gives our offense a spark, gives a little bit different dimension to our offense with his running ability, but he's still learning the offense. So it's going to be a situation where we're going to evaluate again this week and see where we're at come Saturday.
Before you make any decision, is there a chance we could see Brandon start this game to kind of get a different look in that sense?
No doubt, because he's, like I mentioned, he's doing some good things, but we've got to go through our practice and see where he's at in knowledge of the offense and can he get us in the right place against their defense.
Coach, is Brandon completely healthy? I know he got banged up a little bit on Saturday.
I think he's going to be fine. We're not going to talk about specific injuries, but I think he's going to be fine.
Is there a chance that you could name a starter before Saturday? Because so far you've waited till game day both weeks.
There's a chance, but we'll see how they go through practice. I'd like I mentioned, I'd like to be able to do that, but we've got to feel good about this guy's going forward. It's going to be our guy, and until we feel good about that, we're going to have them both play.
You mentioned a couple times that Brandon's still learning the offense. Where is he on that progression?
He's pretty close, but when you have an offense, it's one thing to learn it, but you've got to learn it against all different defenses. Last week, Utah ran a couple of fronts that they hadn't shown before. If Derek's in there, Derek knows because he's gone through it for a couple of years. Brian, probably would have recognized it a little bit quicker. It's just something that, not having been through the whole system against everything you could possibly see, there's a learning curve, and he's probably 90% there, but we got to get him to where he's 100%. It's easy, and we talked to our team about this. It's easy to lead. It's easy to be all in when you win 10 games in a row. You win a couple conference titles. It's hard when you get punched in the nose. You start questioning, and that's where we're at right now. But our coaches know how to win. We're going to hold our players to standards. The standards aren't going to change, and we've got to get better at teaching it. And I believe we will. I think coming back home, our guys will be much more comfortable. We played two tough opponents in very difficult environments to play in. For a young team, it was a tall task and too tall, frankly, for our team right now. The good news from last week is, as badly as we played at times, there's times where we're playing pretty darn good. Our third down defense was much better, on Saturday than it had been the week before. We've got 10 guys playing really, really well, one guy not playing well, and we end up giving up big plays. We've got to get that corrected, and we will. We realize we played against two tough opponents. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about how we played, how we are playing, how we are competing, and we didn't do a very good job of that. We've got to get our guys competing at the highest level we can compete at. And, it's a challenge when you have guys starting to doubt their ability or starting to doubt the guy next to them. And that's, our core values are trust, truth and love. You got to be able to trust the guy next to you. And we've had too many situations where we're losing that trust. We've got to get that back. Well, like I mentioned, I think, defensively, especially early on in the game, we did a much better job in third downs, getting off the field, getting pressure on quarterbacks. We still giving up a big play and making things easy. We start the ball game off giving up a sluggo route. We're in great position to make a play. I mean, we're covering it just like we're taught. But then our eyes get bad. We start looking in the backfield, and if you talk to our offensive coordinator and look where our corner was when the slant and go was broken off, we're probably mad at the quarterback for throwing it, but he just runs by our guy because of where his eyes are. We've got to be able to get our guys more consistent with their eyes. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Offensively, I think when Brandon's come in, he's effectively moved our team, and that's good to see. Especially at times when the game was in doubt. When we go fast and we're in rhythm, I think our offense can be effective, and we're going to need to be because, you know, Nebraska is very, very good, very, very physical.
And on the flip side,
You know, Nebraska, because of, you know, the history of their program, they've done a really nice job recruiting. They do a great job developing guys. It's going to be a challenge, just like every week. Their passing game maybe is not as sophisticated as far as a, you know, pass first thought. It's a lot more play action stuff than what we've seen the first 2 weeks. But they're still averaging 300 yards, I think, you know, throwing yards. 600 total and you know, 264 passing. You know, they're clearly a run-first football team, but that sets up all your play-action passes, which, you know, you got to play some, you know, man coverage to be able to have enough numbers in the run, and, you know, one-on-one, they got guys that can, you know, beat you. So it's going to be a challenge, a different type of challenge, but it's going to be a challenge.
And Armstrong.